Hello everyone, today I'm going to do a video on how to set up your anti-roll bar precisely. And I mean precise, exact, ultra precise, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's easy to do, and you only need a few tools in order to get it done. Now, before I get into doing it all, I just want to mention you need to make sure that your chassis is flat, you're working on a flat surface, the droop is set equal left and right, and that you've set the actual links for both anti-roll bar sides equal lengths, okay? And that's pretty much it. So here, let's go. So I'm going to take my ride height gauge here. I know for a fact this is 4.7 and this is 4.7. Now I'm going to slide the gauge underneath here to 4.7. All right, we could even test. Doesn't move. It's perfect. Now I'm going to move the ride height gauge one step at a time, and I'm going to observe this arm here and see when this arm will engage or lift up. Okay, so let's take a look here. All right, there we go. It's engaged. All right, we'll just take note. Okay, it's 5.5 on this side of the arm when this side engages. Okay, you could tap it if you want, whatever, just to see if the arm is lifted up. All right, so we're done there. Let's go ahead and try the other side. So once again, slide the gauge 4.7. We can even tap. Okay, it's perfect, right on top. And let's move the gauge up. Nothing. All right, well, how can we find out whether or not, or how can we find out when the actual arm will engage this arm here? So what I've done is I've just taken a known value, which is this plexiglass chassis tweak plate, which is 5 millimeters thick. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm just going to simply, move the arms up, just make sure everything's seated, and then I'm going to slide the gauge underneath, just pop it up a bit, and just observe the other arm. Nothing is happening. All right, so about 3.5, 3.6 is when this arm will engage. Now, there's a problem. There's actually quite a bit of a discrepancy between the two arms. Obviously, it takes more height in order for this arm to engage. And this arm, it takes less for this arm to engage. All right? So, how do we solve this problem? What you want to do is you want to screw this threaded section here up, okay? And you want to do the exact same amount on this arm, but you're going to screw this side down, all right? Now, it's going to be difficult to get exact numbers when you're screwing it down, but we can figure that all out when we have the ride height gauges. All right, so I'm going to screw up maybe just a half turn on this side, so up on this turn, and I'm going to go down half a turn. All right, so let's go ahead and check. All right, I've gone to this gauge here, this blue gauge, which gives you a higher step count. All right, so 4.7 we know is our known value. Let's move up. All right, so at a value of 6 on this ride height gauge, the arm engages just slightly, as you can see. All right, let's check the other side. It's nothing. So we're still not getting that exact engagement. So what we're going to have to do is, once again, grab the right tool. All right, so we're going to go thread this section up a bit. All right, and then we're going to thread this section down a bit. All right, and once again, let's go and check. Now, I bet you that since I've threaded this section down, I'm going to max out this ride height gauge. All right, which is no problem. Let's just go ahead. All right. Exactly. So I've maxed out the amount of steps here, so I need to now move on to this plexiglass surface, like so. Now, what I'm going to do here is, it's a little bit awkward, I'm going to now set up the gauge. I'm going to just set it at 1. So right now it's at 6 millimeters with 5 millimeters. Let me just move this over a bit. And on the gauge here, it's 1 millimeter. So now let's move the gauge up. And let's focus on the other arm. All right, okay, so about 1.4. All right. About 1.2, 1.4. All right, so let's check on this side. All right, so that's 6.4. Okay, what we got there? About 2.4. All right, so we got a 1 millimeter difference of imbalance. All right, so let's continue on here. So we're going to thread this up a little bit more, and we're going to thread this down a little bit more. Okay. And once again, let's check. We're going to use this side here. So 6 millimeters. And then we're going to go up, observe the other arm. Now, one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you got your right height gauge firmly down. All right, still 1.4 on that side. All right, so it hasn't changed a lot on that side. Let's take a look on this side here. All right, so 6 millimeters. Let's just check here. Slight engagement. Still 2.2, 2. All right, so we're going to have to go a little bit more. Stretch that out, bring that down. Okay, let's continue on. Let's bring that arm up. Observing this arm here. I'm just tapping it to see if it's engaged. Oh, there we go. But 1.6, 1.8, so 6.6 to 6.8 is when the actual arm engages. So let's try this one. All right, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8. Oh, we're getting some engagement on that side. .6, 1.8, so that's 6.6, 6.8. Okay, so it almost seems to be that we have exact or similar engagement on both sides, left and right. So let's just do a test once more. So 1.2. There we go, you can hear that tapping. So what we have here now is a very, very, very close balance between the left and right suspension arms. Now you can go one step further by maybe just tweaking it a little bit and, you know, give it a try here. So let's just start off with this side here, okay? So we're gonna pop it up. So let's move the arm over, and you could just tap on this side if you want. Besides hearing the train in the background, you could probably hear the tapping noise from the suspension arm. Too far, right? So let's bring it back down. Okay, so you can hear, and you actually saw you're given a visual of what I'm doing here with listening and, you know, also looking at the arm. Okay, I'm happy with 1.6 on this side here, all right? And let's just do the same on this side here. Sorry for taking so long, but I just want to give you a good example, a good visual of the way I do it here. So So 1.2, 1.4, 1.6. I'm listening. 1.8. So right now I have it set at 1.6 or 6.6 technically if I was to calculate this plate with the ride height gauge. So 6.6 and 6.8. Now it's shifted over. What I need to do is correct that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw down a little bit on this side, and I'm going to screw up on this side. All right, so let's check again. So we're at 6 millimeters, 6.2, 6.4, 6.6. You can just faintly hear it. 6.8. Okay. Let's try this side. So 6, 6.2, 6.4, 6.6. You can faintly hear it. 6.8. There you have it. I've successfully and precisely balanced the anti-roll bars on my touring car, and I find using a ride height gauge and just going through the processes and really figuring out how to adjust it all, it's really beneficial, especially when you're out on the track. So there you have it. That's a relatively long video on something relatively simple to do, but I just wanted to show you exactly in detail from the very beginning how to adjust and get your sway bars exact. Okay, bye-bye.